Billie Eilish responds to Drake texting controversy.
Louis Tomlinson SLAMS reporter over interview.
And Halsey flips out on a fan.
All that and more on today's Daily Hollywood Rundown.
What is up, you guys? Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Hollywood Rundown. I'm Sussan Morad. Today, Maddie is filling in for Emil, who's back this week, you guys.
Finally,
I know. Never gonna let him leave again. But while you're here, you should totally hit that subscribe button right over there. Also hit the bell to be notified the second we post, and also leave us comments because we love to read your comments and you might get featured in You're So Clever. Oh, and it's Monday.
Oh God, what does that mean? I'm not filled in.
The Monday DHR? The Monday DHR. The Monday DHR. Okay, that one was a really bad attempt, you guys.
She didn't preface this before we started.
I know, I kind of I sort of forgot in the moment, and then I remembered because it was Monday. But of course, you guys, jumping into our very first story, what's happening today?
Okay, so Halsey is declaring her independence from her ex-boyfriend, G-Eazy. You guys, Halsey has no time for fans chanting G-Eazy's name at her shows. She was playing a pre-Superbowl show called Budweiser's Bud X Miami pre-2020 Super Bowl Bash this weekend, leading up to the big game. In between songs, a guy in the audience repeatedly yelled out the name G-Eazy, who is Halsey's ex-boyfriend. And this clearly didn't sit well with Halsey, and she went off. Take a look.
When you were drunk, if you say G-Eazy one more time, I'll kick you out of this party. I'll kick you. You want to get on the ground? Who is it? It's you? Who said G-Eazy? Get on it, because I'll kick you out. You don't disrespect me like that on my own show.
Halsey followed that up with a "F that guy" chant, and many fans were split on Halsey's reaction. Some came to her defense while others thought she overreacted. One fan came after Halsey tweeting, "Is she mentally stable?" And another said, "So unprofessional, I am embarrassed." However, though, loyal Halsey fans defended her, tweeting, quote, "I find it interesting how when male artists behave this way, everybody thinks they're great and they become some meme quality being. Whereas when a woman does it, she's automatically considered hysterical or ill-mannered." Halsey clapped back to the criticism on Instagram, writing, quote, "Don't ever let someone make you feel crazy or unhinged because you're a woman standing up for yourself. Don't tolerate disrespect in the name of being nice. Love you." Halsey and G-Eazy had a tumultuous relationship due to his rumored affairs. They dated for nearly a year, broke up, got back together, and finally called it quits in October of 2018. Speaking of G-Eazy's love life, this past weekend, he and Megan Thee Stallion sparked dating rumors. The pair were spotted getting super cozy on Instagram, with G-Eazy literally kissing and biting her face. To further prove these dating rumors as truth, G-Eazy posted a photo of Megan on his IG grid with 4 blue hearts, and Megan shared a video on her story taking shots with G-Eazy. Their official relationship title is still to be determined, but it looks like these two are at least bumping and grinding with one another. Love it, G-Eazy. What do you do? No, I'm kidding.
Lots to unpack in that story. Yeah.
Halsey is, don't come for Halsey. That's the bottom line. Do not come for Halsey, especially at one of her shows.
I feel like I'm on the camp of the people who were defending Halsey on this one. I couldn't imagine what that's like. You're at your show, you're there performing your heart out, and someone's pulling out your ex-boyfriend's name. A fan. They're clearly a fan of Halsey.
Exactly.
Just trying to get her riled up. And I love the fact that she went straight over there.
She went off.
Because we don't know what celebrities hear, people saying in the crowd. And
exactly.
you'd think if they're their fans, they would be more well behaved.
And it was almost this close. She was like, "Is it you? Is it you?"
I'm all
it
for
scared
that.
me.
And I think it's definitely a warning for everybody else out there if you're planning to go to a concert and call out shady comments.
Don't do it.
This can happen to you, so don't do it. Okay, so Louis Tomlinson just did an interview with BBC Breakfast, and he's vowed to never return there to do an interview ever again. On Friday, January the 31st, Louis Tomlinson released his highly anticipated debut album, Walls. With its release, Louis has been making appearances to promote the new album, including an appearance he made on BBC Breakfast, where he was asked about the tragic death of both his mum, Joanna, in December 2016, and sister Felicity in March last year. By way of context, Louis was discussing his songwriting process and writing from life experiences. The interviewer and host Dan Walker asked Louis, quote, "Do you feel that at some stage that oh, I've put too much of yourself in there? Or is that part of helping you in writing that way, about the loss of your mother and your sister and other things? Louis starts by saying because his career started on X Factor, there has always been a camera on him and he's always given a lot of himself before saying this.
It's kind of all I've known in my career, really, so I almost use that to my advantage. You know, I'm brave enough to talk about these things, and yeah, it's worked out.
The other host, Louise, then followed up with another question related to Louis' grief, saying, quote, "You talk about grief, don't you, in Two of Us, and that has quite the impact on fans as well, actually." Louis responds looking a little uncomfortable at first, but Louis' discomfort becomes really obvious when the host asks this.
You've had a bit of a spat with Zayn. How's that going?
God, you're proper going in here today, aren't you?
No, just generally.
Louis, you know people will be interested.
Yeah, they will, but people pick up on every little thing I say. Look, I'm just not ready to have that conversation yet.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
But it doesn't end there. The host also asks the inevitable One Direction question.
Change
Take
later
them
on
all
this
off
week.
now. You've gone. Trauma, Zayn, and now we're finally on this one. I like
on.
it. I'll give you the answer I give everyone else.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. I don't know when. We don't know when.
It's pretty clear by this point of the interview, Louis has had enough, and he wraps up by saying, "We don't know when. I've only just released my first album. That's what I'm here for." And while Louis did an amazing job getting through the interview despite being uncomfortable, over on Twitter he aired his frustration, vowing and declaring he'll never return to BBC Breakfast for any further interviews. He tweeted, quote, "Defo won't be going on there again. Haha, love to all my fans for always having my back." And as fans started flooding his tweet with support, he then tweeted again saying, quote, "Anyway, the negativity now. It's been a sick week." But someone else who made their way to Louis' tweets was the host Dan Walker, who tweeted at Louis saying, "Sorry you feel like that. It was nice to speak to you on BBC Breakfast this morning. Can I ask what you're upset about?" Louis didn't waste any time in responding to Dan, tweeting right back saying, "I was upset that you continue to ask me about my grief. It goes without saying how hard it is to lose both people so close to me. The least I ask is that you respect my decision of not wanting to be asked in interviews about something so painful." He went on to say, quote, "I'm lucky enough to have a creative outlet for me to talk about grief. This doesn't, however, give you the right to talk about it for gossip purposes." Dan went on to respond that he had no intention to upset him or to be, quote, gossipy about it at all, and was asking him about the song on his album. I really feel for Louis in this interview because you do start to see his frustration, and he did such a good job of staying really composed and answering the questions, particularly about grief, which is something that
So hard. I mean,
we can't imagine how hard it is for him in that moment. And, you know, it did get discussed, but then they kind of like went further and further. And I think that's where he seems to have gotten really uncomfortable, particularly then with the questions about Zayn and One Direction.
Yeah.
And I feel like even though the host is saying that they weren't trying to be gossipy, if you made Louis, who is the guest, feel that way, then
it's gossipy.
you made him feel that way. Well, you
Yeah.
made him feel bad, whether you meant to or not. You definitely made him feel that way. That's why he's opening up about it. So I think, all power to Louis.
Yeah. Switching gears just a little bit, Lady Gaga has a new man, and this shouldn't come as a surprise to some people. Lady Gaga has been spotted with a new man. Now, if you recall, on New Year's Eve, she was spotted making out with said mystery man by the name of Michael, and as the clock struck midnight and Auld Lang Syne was playing, Gaga was getting her slobber on with this mystery Michael man. A month later, she was once again spotted making out with this same guy on a hotel balcony in Miami. And fast forward to this past Saturday, and a fan spotted Gaga walking out of a hotel with this guy named Michael. According to Us Weekly, this mystery Michael man is Michael Polanski, a Harvard University graduate and CEO of Parker Group. Prior to her relationship with Polanski, Gaga dated audio engineer Dan Horton for nearly 3 months. The couple split in October of 2019. A source told Us Weekly that Dan was, quote, not mature enough for her. She was previously engaged to her former talent agent, Christian Carino, who she dated from February 2017 until their split in February 2019. A source told Us Weekly in April 2019 that the pair ended on bad terms, and Gaga, quote, told Christian not to contact her. However, a second source revealed in December of 2019 that the duo were back on speaking terms. We don't know much more about Michael Polanski, but they've been, together since the new year.
Yeah.
So, like, what, 1 month under the belt, going into the second month? So, yay, Lady Gaga has a new relationship. Maybe this will spark new music for a new album.
I know. I was thinking, are we going to hear about this new man on the album?
I feel like we are.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Oh, you guys, Billie Eilish is on the cover of March Vogue magazine. She looks incredible, of course, and she sat down for an interview with Vogue, which is quite a lengthy interview. And in that interview, she actually addressed all that. You remember all that Drake texting controversy that was going on last year? Yeah, she had some thoughts on that. Like I just said, Billie is the cover star of Vogue's March issue. Billie shared the news and a series of pics from her shoot with Vogue on Instagram with the caption, "Cover of Vogue March issue," with this little emoji. Billie looks amazing on the cover along with the tagline, "The Outsider," how Billie Eilish reinvented pop stardom. And as you slide through the carousel of pics, there's actually 3 different epic covers along with a series of amazing pictures. Now, in the interview featured on Vogue.com, they cover a lot of ground, including that for Billie's recent 18th birthday, Billie had a small birthday party with skee ball and foosball, a bouncy house, a piñata, and a vegan chocolate cake with vegan cream cheese frosting and peppermint candies baked by her mother as requested by Billie. Sounds like a seriously fun party and a really good cake. But something else that came up in the interview was the media frenzy, criticism, and controversy that came when Billie revealed last year that Drake and her had been texting each other. In case you missed it, Billie told Vanity Fair in an interview that, quote, "Drake is like the nicest dude I've ever spoken to. I mean, I've only texted him, but he's so nice. Like, he does not need to be nice, you know what I mean?" A lot of people took issue with this because Drake is 33 and Billie was 17 at the time. Anyway, Billie actually addressed the controversy in her Vogue interview and how the whole thing just really baffles her. Billie said, quote, "The internet is such a stupid mess right now. Everybody's so sensitive. A grown man can't be a fan of an artist. There are so many people that the internet should be more worried about. Like, you're really gonna say that Drake is creepy because he's a fan of mine and then you're gonna go vote for Trump? What the is that?" And just like that, Billie slammed the criticism, being her brutally honest self, which is just one of the many reasons we absolutely love her.
Shut it down, just like Halsey.
Yes.
What the F is that?
Exactly. I mean, she's just being so honest. Like, seriously, what the F is that? Like, Drake can't be a fan of mine? Like,
Exactly.
Yo. Love that.
Love Billie.
Woohoo! All right. It's
All
time for the final rundown, which is so appropriate coming off Superbowl, right?
Oh, girl. Okay.
Okay, 1.5 minutes on the clock, kicking us off, Maddie.
I gotta start. Okay, so the halftime show at yesterday's Super Bowl did not disappoint. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira shut that ish down. Both ladies absolutely slayed their performances before coming together at the end of the halftime show while they both literally dazzled us on stage. J-Lo also had her gorgeous 11-year-old daughter join her for part of her performance with a children's choir. And Demi Lovato also gave us chills with her singing of the national anthem with her flawless vocals. All ladies were shining bright, and of course, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs for their big win. Let's go, KC.
Is that your team?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Amazing. All right, moving on to our next story. Brad Pitt was not at the BAFTAs. He won an award, but everyone's still talking about it. Brad Pitt won the Best Supporting Actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at the event and had his co-star Margot Robbie accept the award on his behalf, and she actually read out Brad's speech that said, quote, "Hey Britain, heard you've just become single. Welcome to the club. Wishing you the best with the divorce settlement." Margot then went on to say, quote, "Pitt says he's gonna name this Harry because he is really excited about bringing it back to the States with him. His words, not mine."
Ooh, straight up savage. I love Brad Pitt.
The tea.
Single Brad Pitt is amazing. Miley Cyrus popped Codys Pimple, and you guys, we cannot unsee it. I have to give a trigger warning in case this is too gross for you guys. Close your eyes for like 10 seconds. Okay, moving on this weekend, Cody posted a 2-part video of Miley Cyrus popping his back pimple, and it's honestly a lot for all of us to see. Just in case you're into Dr. Pimple Popper, things like that, here are some screen grabs. Disgusting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, I just hit you.
Yep.
Yep. I'm all for popping pimples, but like, I'm not gonna broadcast it.
Yeah,
you know?
I love popping pimples.
Yeah.
I always pop my own pimples, which is terrible, but Seeing other people's pimples pop.
We don't need that,
Yeah.
Miley and Cody. Thank you, though.
Whew, well, that is it for today. That is, sorry, I had something in my throat. That is the end of today's episode of the Daily Hollywood Rundown. Maddie, do you have any questions while I clear my throat?
Yes. First and foremost, you guys, what do you think of Halsey's epic clapback at that fan chanting G-Eazy's name at her show? Was it rude? Was it uncalled for?
Rude, but I want to know what you think. Also, what were your thoughts on Billie's response to the whole Drake texting controversy? Did you love it? Did you understand why people thought it was such a big deal? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys. But hold on, before you go anywhere, catch up on this weekend's episode of Celebrity Lowdown if you missed it. It's right here, it's a really good one.
Of course. And you guys, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button like right now.